We want to talk to him about Lev Bell and the Lev Bell situation, because this feels like this is potentially a Leonard Fournette double dip type situation where you're a running back who gets cut from your team somehow because they say they tried to trade you and nobody will bite, so you just get cut. So they eat all the money, and you can get your contract that the previous team that cut you has to pay you and another team's contract, as long as it's less, I think, than the original contract, which I believe is $6.6 million is what the Jets potentially owe him this year. Diggs, am I right in that number?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
$6.6 million. So if he goes and gets a deal that's less than that or whatever, like let's say it's $1 million deal, he'll make $1 million from the new team, 6.6 from the Jets. They still have to pay him. We'll put that together. We'll talk to Andrew Brand about that, because this is a very, very interesting happenstance. LeVeon Bell just gets cut. We heard yesterday he was up on the trade block. We all said that was going to be a very tough sell because of the contract that it was and everything like that. Then a couple hours later, it comes out he's cut. Then after that, it comes out that they've been trying to trade him since last year's trade deadline. Then it comes out that, is it because he liked two tweets that basically question the way Adam Gase is using? I mean, there is so much drama in the Jets organization. If you're a good player, you can get out of there just by speaking out or liking a tweet that says that your head coach is bad. I mean, there is some insane shit going on. But now we have to ask, where's LeVeon Bell going? LeVeon Bell, if he is anything like, and we don't know, hey, we don't know if he's anything like he was 3 years ago, okay? 3 years ago, incredible player. Then he holds out for a year because he won 17 M's a year, I believe. He said that in a freestyle in his front yard before tossing keys or a ball to a friend. I forget what it was. Good flow, by the way. He says he won 17 M's a year. He sits out an entire year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. In said year, he moves down to South Florida. He makes a rap album. He was partying on yachts, having a good time. To be honest, looked like he was not really missing the game much at all, and was succeeding, by the way. Those rap album debut parties looked like they were having a good time.
Awesome.
They were a good time. So I was like really pumped for him. Then his holdout works. He gets a bigger deal than he was going to get offered from the Pittsburgh Steelers to go to the New York Jets. That New York Jets team, which has now paid him $28 million to play in 18 games, that GM that signed him was fired. The coach fired. Adam Gase, new GM, and new head coach Adam Gase come in. They're stuck with his contract. He doesn't like them. They don't like him. So now it's just kind of like, who budges first here? And it felt like the Jets said, we're picking Adam Gase over LeVeon Bell. Because if this is all because of LeVeon Bell's comments about Adam Gase, then that would mean if you don't pick the one side, it means you have to pick the other. Or are they just planning on firing Gase after this year too, and they're just doing Bell like a, yeah, you're probably going to be gone after this year anyways. Go ahead and find a new team. It's very interesting over there. But who signs Lev Bell? I think it's potentially the Buccaneers. Ooh. Why do I think that? Not sure. Just feels like it's possible at this point. It really does just feel like it's possible at this point. They only got like $2.2 million, but what we just said about the double dip on a contract like they did with Leonard Fournette, they don't have to pay him that much, I think. I think he's going to go to a team that could be a winner. If you're Le'Veon Bell, why would you want to go to another team that stinks? You probably don't. You're at the Steelers, good team, playing for playoffs. You go to the Jets, bad team, not playing for anything. Life was kind of miserable there. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's just collect a paycheck, whoever's going to pay me. Not 100% sure, but it feels like the Bucs are a place. They got a couple injuries in the backfield. They have a lot of talent back there, but nothing like Le'Veon Bell if he can play like he played 3 years ago before the yachts and the raps and everything and the Jets and the Adam Gase umbrella, which we know is a problem. Adam Gase has ruined a lot of careers. I just don't know where he goes, but I'm here for it. I think it's potentially the Buccaneers, maybe the Patriots. Ooh. Maybe he ends up at the Patriots just strictly because it's the Patriots, and that would make a lot of sense. And if Cam Newton and Lev Bell are in the backfield there, let's assume that's potentially going to be successful. And if he can buy in to the Patriot way, which nobody really knows what that means, because whenever people explain the Patriot way, they basically say, oh, they work hard, they watch film, and they eat right. It's like, well, oh, so they just win. So that's the Patriot way. Maybe he ends up there, maybe he ends up somewhere else. Who knows? We'll talk about that today. The hot story today is Le'Veon Bell gets cut last night, just hours after it is announced that they're trying to trade him. You initially, upon hearing about them trying to trade, said good luck was your actual word. Good luck trading Le'Veon Bell with whatever his contract was and his performance this year, and nobody's going to want to give anything up. They cut him later. And I might be wrong in this, and I've been saying it very loudly, so if I'm wrong, I would like you to educate me. He can double dip right in this particular situation where he gets contract from the Jets that he is owed, and then he can go to another team and get another contract somewhere else, a la what Leonard Fournette did this year with the Jaguars and the Buccaneers, or am I wrong in saying that?
I think you're wrong, Pat.
Damn it! I was very loud in saying that.
A little bit of contract 101. This is an offset guarantee. So he's owed $6 million this year, or whatever the remaining balance is. He goes to another team and say makes $1 million. That goes against the $6 million owed by the Jets. So it's called an offset guarantee. So he'll get the money. And if he doesn't play, it's all from the Jets. If he does play, some of it's from the Jets and some of it's offset by what he makes from the new team.
Okay.
So we'll see. I mean, like you said, he could sit back and collect the $6 million and not play for anyone. He could play for someone, get whatever. Say they pay $2 million, then the Jets owe $4 million, and then he's got an injury guarantee next year, which is going to be hard unless he gets hurt badly to collect on that. But $28 million for a year and a few games with the Jets. So the Jets continue to compound bad decisions with bad contracts.
Just such a matter-of-fact statement. Just such a matter-of-fact statement. Is this them saying that they're going with Adam Gase long-term? Because the origin of this publicly is Le'Veon Bell liked a couple tweets, right, that said that Adam Gase was a stooge, basically. And he's not the only one liking tweets that are saying that. Everybody outside the building is. But if you go back to Jamal Adams, he came out and basically said he hated the place and wanted to leave, wasn't inspired. Boom, he's gone. Now Le'Veon Bell likes a couple tweets that say he's not being used right in Adam Gase's offense. He's gone. Is this the Jets saying we're investing in Adam Gase more so than Le'Veon Bell? Or do you think they were going to unload Le'Veon Bell at the end of the season anyways? Let's go ahead and do this now and kind of save the drama between Gase and Le'Veon Bell for the day-to-day until we eventually get rid of Adam Gase as well.
Well, different general manager, and as you noted, once that got out, they're trying to trade him. There's no way they're going to trade him. Everybody's going to say, well, wait till you cut him because you're not going to keep him. And, Joe Douglas has no investment in Le'Veon Bell. That was the previous general manager, McCagnon, who, again, paid him big money, paid C.J. Mosley big money, paid all these guys big money, and then is shipped out. So there doesn't seem to be symbiosis between the GM and the coach. Symbiosis. So I don't know if Adam Gase is long for the future. But hey, Pat, don't blame me because the Jets called me a year and a half ago, and I gave a glowing recommendation to the guy named Mike McCarthy. You should hire him. And a day later, they hired Adam Gase. And I said, listen, what did I just tell you about 2 hours with Mike McCarthy? What happened? They said, well, we talked to Peyton Manning about Adam Gase, and no offense, but Peyton Manning's more important than Andrew Brandt. I'm like, all right, I get it. I said McCarthy.
Jets fans do hate Peyton Manning, I've learned, because I put out a tweet about Peyton Manning, and all Jets fans basically said was, yeah, well, he should just keep his mouth shut and not talk about who should get hired where, because it's amazing that Adam Gase has gotten two opportunities that people would die for to get in the Dolphins and in the Jets, and they both seem to be going the exact same way. Le'Veon Bell, I would assume when he signs with the next team, since it's an offset guarantee, they're going to sign him for a vet min and let the Jets pick up the tab for everything else, and Le'Veon Bell probably at this point is completely okay with that. I assume he's going to go to a winning team because I think he saw what life was like on a terrible team. So I'm intrigued by that. AJ, what were your thoughts on Le'Veon Bell getting cut in the middle of the game last night? What was your thoughts on him potentially liking a couple tweets that said Adam Gase was a stooge, which, by the way, noted he is, and then he's out the door, owed $6 million, offsetting guarantees, whatever another team pays him, the Jets have to make up for the rest of the amount until $6 million. What are your thoughts on the entire Lev Bell situation, Mr. Hawk?
Well, I mean, I guess I give the Jets credit for realizing what they have, okay, we can hang on. And even though it wasn't the GM who brought Le'Veon Bell in with all the money. But a lot of times I think teams will be too stuck on a contract or someone that they pay. They don't want to say, hey, we were wrong here. I think it's good. They're moving on. It's a win-win. Lev Bell's going to go most likely to a contender. He's definitely going to a better football team than he's on right now.
Yeah, unless he goes to the Giants.
Ooh. Yeah.
The Giants, by the way, Saquon, they're out. You know what I mean?
Ooh, Lev.
Hey, you thought the Jets stunk. Come on.
Wait till you see our O-line.
He potentially ends up at the Patriots or the Buccaneers. And
or Chicago.
I mean, he ends up at one of those places and everybody goes, okay. And he's going to figure out how to be the same guy he was 3 years ago again. And it's just going to be, the Jets fans are going to be like, we gave $28 million to a guy for 18 games. Adam Gase blows his entire career. And here we are watching him succeed somewhere else. In the exact same week, we decided to cut him because he liked a couple of tweets. I mean, it just gets worse and worse for Jets fans, especially if he goes out and balls, which I think is potentially going to happen at this point.
He's the prime example of when you say a guy needs a change of scenery. Like a change of scenery, all of a sudden Le'Veon Bell is going to be what he was 4 years ago.
And by the way, this might be a freezing cold take. He might absolutely suck the next place he goes. Hey?
Maybe.
Possible.
We're not 100% sure, but he might stink. And Zito, you're sticking up for him because you think there's a chance he ends up at the Bears. Le'Veon Bell is actually a big part of Zito's poll today. You know what is the poll?
Big poll. Where will Le'Veon Bell land? Right now, Bears are at 30.5%. Patriots are at 40.1%. Buccaneers 12.7%. Going back to the Steelers, 16.7%.
How many votes?
Well over 20,000. No big deal. That's a massive poll, right, AJ?
If you would like to potentially take part and be a part of Zito's poll, which is a big poll, at Viva La Zito on Twitter, we need to hear your voice. Yeah. So everybody's thinking it's going to be the Patriots, and the thought of Bill Belichick pulling it off again and yet again and yet again when no other team will pull the trigger would just be something that would make a lot of sense, and you could definitely see it happening.
Well, it makes complete sense. Leave the Jets on the hook for the majority of his contract. Pay him what, $900 right now? Is that what his minimum would be?
I think $850, yeah, $850,000 or something like that.
Here we go. We'll take you on for the rest of this year, and then we will see what happens at the end of the year.
And we got a lot of money next year. Our salary cap is biggest in the NFL, actually. Yep. And we're going to have to figure out Cam. We're going to have to figure out you, but let's hope it's success, because if you win, there's enough to go around. If not here, it's everywhere else. And Bill Belichick, with Le'Veon Bell and Cam Newton in the same backfield, a lot of people will say, what is this, 2016? So you know what it is 2020, and God damn it, I think you got some people that are going to try to make a lot more money in their careers, and that's playing good football with Bill Belichick. It feels like that's inevitable, and I'm over 20,000 votes, and you got 40% of the votes going there. I mean, that is quite a scene there.
Do you think he'll come down from like the money aspect of it all when he is set to renegotiate, whenever that may be, because he did just get $28 million in 18 games?
If he stinks, right? If he comes out and he stinks, I think he knows that he doesn't have a lot of leverage. But if he comes out and plays well, I mean, it is somebody's going to have to pay
17 M's again.
17 M's a year is what he wanted originally. I would assume if he gets anywhere near 14, 13, 15 at this point, he'd be pumped up about that, especially with the salary cap next year kind of being in jeopardy. I mean, Patriots have the most salary cap availability right now, I think, next year, but nobody knows what's going to happen to that salary cap. So we'll be able to see how it all goes.